for those of you who want a heads up, you should probably follow me on Instagram at KevHig24. Okay, cool. So everybody has said. She said you. Somebody said you frozen. I feel like I got a good. I think I got a good signal right now. So that might be on your end. All right. Good evening, chat box. Okay. When people start asking questions, I start talking. Somebody said hello. Looking forward to listening to your opinion, and that's all it is. It's my opinion. Everybody has one. Some people don't like my opinions. You should get a YouTube channel and give your opinion. See if someone listens to you. So somebody out there for everybody. It's an audience out there for everyone. So if you got something to offer, you should make a YouTube channel. Okay, so let me see. Somebody said, Kev, I need to know, should I stop talking to a guy who says he's talking to other girls but will stop at a certain date? I don't know. Light skin threat. I don't believe anybody owes you anything until they've committed themselves to you or they've taken something that they can't get back. Don't give anybody anything that you can't stand to lose, especially when dating. But no, I don't think that you should stop talking to him if he says he's talking to other girls. I think that once you guys establish that you're going steady or you're going to be in an exclusive relationship, then that's when you start holding them to that type of standard. But a man who has no commitment, no obligation to you owes you nothing, just like you don't owe him anything. So I guess when two people decide that they're exclusively going to talk to each other and pursue a relationship or get to know each other exclusively, then you want to stop sleeping around or whatever might be happening on the side. Yeah, but he don't owe you nothing, and you don't owe him anything. Not right now. Y'all not committed. Somebody said just found out about you 3 days ago. Lucky me. Appreciate it. Okay. Somebody said is 3 days a week enough while you're dating, or am I expecting too much? Is 3 days a week enough? Enough of what? 3 days a week or enough of what? Erica McCard, I need a bit more context. I don't know what you're referring to. Enough of? Are you referring to? I don't know what you're referring to. Whether that's intimacy or phone conversations or it's just spending time with each other. I don't know what you're talking about. So I guess not enunciate, but elaborate, expound on that question, and I'll love to answer it. Somebody said, "Hey Kev, can you be friends with someone you slept with?" Yeah, you can be friends with anybody. You can be friends with someone who hates you. You can be friends with someone you hate. You can be friends with someone you slept with, someone you've never slept with. So yeah, that doesn't mean anything. You can't be in a relationship with everybody you sleep with, but you definitely can be. You definitely can be friends. Yeah. Let me see. Okay, somebody said, Sandra, how you doing, Sandra? Thanks for watching. She said, a guy who rejected me said he just wants to be friends, so I became his friend. Well, as friends, he picks me up and takes me out to eat. I get treated better than guys I've been with as a girlfriend. Yeah, I think sometimes a guy will use a woman, and I'm using the word use not as as victimized, but just as purpose. A guy will use a woman for her companionship. A guy will use her for her energy, her softness. Guys don't always use women for sex. That's not necessarily everybody's MO. Some people just need the company of a woman. I think a lot of men value the company of a woman, and so yeah, you can oftentimes get treated much better than you've been treated in relationships. Just been spending time with a guy who wants to be in your presence, who doesn't want the obligation of owing you anything. Again, some guys are just avoiding obligation. And so sometimes sex isn't worth the trouble. They'd rather be friends just to remove the obligation, but enjoy your company. That's not every guy though, but a lot of guys do that. Lynette Barber, hey Kev, hey Lynette. Um, Somebody said, "What's a good amount of time to go from talking to exclusively dating?" I suppose that depends on the two people, the distance, how quickly you've gotten physical. Um, I guess your standards, what you're trying to find out about the other person. You're supposed to be vetting these people. A lot of times, people go from talking to dating because they feel comfortable, or they're familiar with the person. There's a extended history, so you might have known someone for 8 years and just started talking to them romantically, in the last few months, or in the last few weeks. But you have a familiar relationship with them. They're not foreign to you. But if you're getting to know a person from scratch, then of course it's going to take a bit longer for you to develop trust, hopefully. But you're supposed to be vetting everyone that you date. Don't assume anything of anyone just because it's what you hope of them. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people make a lot of assumptions based on the things that they hope. I was speaking to a client of mine the other day, and I told her that sometimes it's easy to believe someone when they appear to be confirming your hopes. Right? They appear to be the things that you hope for. Uh, you attach your hope to them, and you trust your hopes, but you haven't really been given a reason to trust them. So sometimes you're falling in love with the person you create, or you're falling for the person you create. So like I said, the time, it depends on the circumstances, the situation, the level of intimacy, spiritually and emotionally, that you've established with someone. Um, the purpose of the relationship. If someone is looking for a wife, or if you're looking for a husband, or if they're just looking to date, have a girlfriend or have a boyfriend, all of that matters. If you're looking for a husband or a wife, those people, a lot of those people talk for a year or more. Years, I've even seen years, right? So they go from talking to pursuing each other for marriage. So that's a longer process, but it just depends on what you want and how seriously you take a relationship, how serious you take the commitment of love. So I can't really answer that because there's no cookie cutter answer for that. It depends on the people. But if you're not comfortable, then it's not time. If you're completely comfortable with that person and you completely trust them, then I guess it's time then. But you're talking to figure out, what each other's about. You're talking to vet each other. So take full advantage of that time that you have when you're not obligated to take shit from them, or believe their stuff. When you're expected to not believe, when you're expected to disbelieve and do some investigating because you're supposed to be doing some investigating to protect yourself. Somebody said, should an ex always stay an ex? No, no, there are no absolutes. And sometimes exes are exes for good reasons. Other times, exes are exes because two people haven't matured enough to communicate effectively, or manifest the things that they wanted from themselves in a relationship. Sometimes people have to grow. They know how they should be to a person. They know how they should be treating their person that they love, but they're not in that place yet, right? And this happens with men and women, and not specifically talking about cheating, but just basic communication, respect, the standards that someone might put on us. You might not be ready for it at the time, but if someone's your ex and you guys were together at 18, and at 25 you meet each other and you seem to be the same people, but with a bit of growth, or with a bit of wisdom, maybe you have a better chance this time around. So it just depends on what reason that like I said, what's the reason you broke up in the first place? Why aren't you together right now? How damaging was your breakup? Did they hurt you? Were they malicious? Did it get ugly? Like, all of that matters. But just because someone's an ex doesn't mean they should always stay an ex. I don't think that's responsible to say or believe for any relationship, in general. But some people deserve to stay the hell out your life, and be honest. Some people deserve to stay the hell away from you, and that's the only thing that they should have access to, is a few insults from you. And so it just depends on what they did to you and why they're your ex. Someone said makes a lot of sense. Great point of view. Appreciate that. Oh wow. Okay, so let's let me see. Okay, y'all gotten into the questions. My screen was kind of froze at the top, so now it's a whole bunch of them. Um, somebody said, what do you say to a guy who stops talking to you because you ask him to use a condom? You say bye. Man, fuck him. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be saying that, but fuck him. Like, come on, man. Y'all gonna have to start, especially as it pertains to sex and your standards for sex. You're really going to have to start listening to your own intuition. Stop doing stuff because a man is asking you because that's what he wants. Stop having sex because he's ready, even though you're not. If you're ready to have sex, do what the hell you want to do. That's none of my business. I'm not counting your sins. Christian folk, I'm staying out of people's business. That's not me. I'm not the one counting sins. I'm not nobody's pastor. I'm saying this. Make sure that you are following your rules, you are following your standards. Don't break your standards, don't break your own rules just because a guy is requesting it of you or because you want a guy to like you more, you take the condom off. If you can't trust him enough to uh, to have sex without a condom and you want to wear a condom and you don't trust him in that way and he asks you to take the condom off and you do, when something happens you are partly to blame for that. You are at least halfway to blame for that, maybe the majority, because if you have the control and you relinquish it just to make a guy like you, you've played yourself. um, yeah, don't man. If a guy stops talking to you just because you don't want to do the thing that he asks you to do, whether that's whether that's oral or condom use or whatever it is, man, just move on. Like that's just the bottom line. Y'all have to stop betraying yourself and then blaming these guys. Yeah, he clearly he lacks some morality. Clearly he lacks some scruples. But if you go along with it, you are to blame as well. So don't be a responsible party in your own demise. Follow your own standards. So tell him bye. Like I said, long story short, tell him bye. Um, Somebody said, "Hey, Kev, I met a contractor at work. We had a lot of chemistry, but he was giving me mixed signals toward the end of his contract. He is very shy, but I don't want to approach him." Well, if you do nothing, you get nothing. Clearly he's not going to make a move. And if you feel like this is a once in a lifetime chance to meet somebody that you might be vibing, or just something that doesn't come around often, whatever connection you have or whatever feelings you have for him, if you do nothing, you get nothing. Sometimes you have to put yourself out there. That's just the bottom line. People want everything in life. They want all this love. They want these great relationships, but some of y'all don't want to do anything to provide an outlet or an avenue for any of these things that you want. You cannot manifest things sitting on your ass. That's just how that works. You have to move forward. You have to move toward your goals. You have to call your goals toward you with action. You can't just think and dream and hope and wish that a man that is perfect for you sees you and is magnetized to you to the degree that he approaches you or he starts to pursue you because that's what you want. Y'all don't have telekinesis. You don't have mind control. You're not gonna just magically make a guy do the thing that it is necessary for you guys to start talking. Sometimes you got to put yourself out there, get his attention, and that's just the bottom line. So if you don't want to do anything, let me see. I missed a question. It's somewhere. Now the damn question's gone. Okay. She said you don't want to approach him. You don't have to approach him, but you can smile at him. You don't have to approach him, but you can wave at him. You don't have to approach him, but you can lock eyes for 2 or 3 seconds. You don't have to approach him, but you can definitely be very pleasant with him. You can make him feel more welcome to you. You can make an impression. You don't have to officially approach him, but you can definitely make an impression and make him feel welcome to approaching you if you feel like he's interested. And Erica McCarr. So to your question earlier, she said, "How I believe the question was Erica McCarr. He said, is 2 or 3 weeks enough for you if you're talking to somebody? So coming over and hanging out, I think 2 or 3 times a week is perfect. That's a perfect amount of time. I don't think you don't want to smother someone who's new in your life. I don't know how new your boyfriend is. It'd probably be difficult. To find your question at this point, but yeah, I think 2 or 3 nights are plenty if you have a life and you have stuff to do. Some people don't have a lot going on, and so yeah, they every day, night in night out, they want to be with each other. But 2 people who like each other, who are developing a relationship, 2 or 3 times a week is plenty. 3 times is, I think 3 times is probably the magic number. Half the time, half of your free time devoted to the person that you're pursuing. And I'm sure there's phone conversations and texting going on, hopefully. between that time, spending the night, etc. Now if you got a long-term boyfriend, again, I think 2 or 3 nights a week is fine as long as you're getting the amount of attention that you want and you're getting the level of attention that you want. If when you're with him 2 or 3 times a week, he's on his phone the whole time, now you have a problem. If you're with him 2 or 3 times a week, but he feels detached or he's cold or he's shut off, then that's a problem. But if when you see him 2 or 3 times a week, he's giving you his undivided attention, sometimes you got to take that, and or develop a standard of what you want. If you can agree mutually to see each other more, then do that. But you have to set your standards for people. And you don't always get everything you want because they have standards of their own, but you can definitely try to meet in the middle. And if you're going to be with somebody, you have to learn how to have these difficult conversations. When something comes up, you have to learn how to talk about it, how to verbalize it, because if you don't, when things go wrong, it's not because you tried and failed. It's because you just didn't try. You never addressed the thing that was wrong with, you waited till it was damaging the relationship. So while everything is good and 2 or 3 times a week seems to be enough for him, but it's not enough for you, find a way to express that to him so that maybe you can get a bit more time. But it can't just be about winning this fight or this battle. It has to be something that's mutually beneficial and mutually agreed upon. Erica McCarr, thank you for your question. Somebody said it keeps freezing. I'm not getting any signal. I'm not getting any dead drop signal signs at the moment. So sorry if that's happening, but I'm not getting any of those. It's not freezing for me. Usually it tells me when my signal's so trash that people are having trouble. PJ said, tomorrow is 30 days since I let him go because he didn't value me, but it's his birthday. Should I wish him a happy birthday? No. If you let him go, let him go. Like who cares if it's his birthday? Like, that's not a real thing. A lot of people don't even celebrate birthdays. There are coaches in the world who just move on over the birthday. Just because it's his birthday doesn't give you an excuse to break your standard, end up under him, and then be mad that you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like you going backwards. If he didn't value you, and that's the reason why you had to get rid of him, why would you show up on his birthday and show him value? Let him know that he still got your heart. Let him know that he's still pulling you on the string. Like, no, leave him alone. Let him do his thing. Let him figure it out. He's probably going to be having a great time with somebody else anyway because he didn't value you. So if he didn't value you, I don't think he values your happy birthday. I think he's going to be valuing whatever woman is under him or on her knees in front of him. If that's the type of guy he is, don't play yourself like that. Somebody said he always looks tired, busy man. I guess I'm always tired because I come here so late, like 11 o'clock. This is my crash hour. I usually crash at 11 o'clock. So on the nights that I go live, 11 o'clock seems to be the best time to do it. And it's usually the time that I'm sitting on the couch. And if I'm not going live, my eyes are shutting. And so I'm getting my second wind. I get my second wind around 11:40, 11:50, but it's been a long day by 11 o'clock. But I'm engaged though. I'm good. So I guess I'm a bit tired. And when I see y'all, that's probably why I'm tired on my lives. I look tired on my videos because I shoot them at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Like none of my videos get shot during the day. My videos all get shot at 1 or 2 in the morning. The last thing I do in the evening before I go to bed. So my eyes are usually a little bit red. People think I smoke weed. I do not smoke. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do nothing. I believe a man should be ready for war at all times. Physical war, mental war, spiritual war. I don't get into anything that alters my moods or my behaviors or my mindset. I want to be sharp at all times, and that's just how I move. Okay, so she said hers keep freezing too. I don't know what's going on with the signal. Okay. Somebody, I don't know what's up with the signal. People keep saying it's freezing. I apologize for that, but I'm not getting any notifications here. But that's AT&T for you. If it's freezing on your end, y'all need to call AT&T and cuss them out for me on my behalf. Let me see. Somebody said, if it's not freezing for you, I answer your question. She said, if it is it wrong to pursue a man without equal give and take? It can be. It can be very wrong. It just depends. I think that there's a point that it should change. There's a point that that energy or that dynamic should shift, and it should become him at least meeting you in the middle. You should never start to finish pursue a man without equal give and take. But I understand that sometimes you got to work towards your goal and pursue a man until he realizes your value. But it shouldn't be permanent. It should be temporary. Um, we got a super chat up here. Thank you for the super chat, Portia Dookie. She said, no question, just love listening. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for the love. Priceless 81 said, just found out about you yesterday. I've been binge watching ever since. I wish I had found out you before the situation I just got out of. Yeah, I wish you did too. I get that every day. That's probably one of my most common questions. Where were you 5 years ago? Where were you last month? Where were you 2 years ago? Where were you 30 years ago? You know, probably shit on myself. Let me see. How can you tell when a man is being truthful or just kicking game? That's a tough one. There's so many layers to like getting to know somebody. And there's everybody has a layer. Everybody has a game that they kick. Like when you meet somebody, you're not completely honest. You're kicking game. You're trying to be true to yourself while you're doing it. But like when people say stupid stuff or a guy tells a dumb joke, you laugh at the joke. You're not genuinely into what he's saying, but you like the attempt. You're happy that he made the attempt to make you smile. So you give him a pity laugh, right? People kick game like that all the time. Um, guys are, because they're the entertainers and the aggressors of conversation, usually have to say a lot more than women when they're kicking game, and it ends up being, sometimes it's just a bunch of fluff or BS. So it's very difficult to tell when a person is being truthful or kicking game. Time will tell. But you just have to be vigilant and make sure that a person is not trying to tell you what you want to hear. I think that sometimes a person is great for you and it's obvious that they're great for you, but other times they're just trying to sell you your dream. They're trying to sell your dream back to you. And like I said, we believe things that seem to confirm our hopes. And so make sure that your hopes aren't being regurgitated and sold back to you, or told back to you, spit back in your face, because sometimes that's the biggest signal is when a person's saying everything right, something has to be wrong. You should disagree on some things. You should definitely, you should have separate opinions. A person is an individual, and when a person starts agreeing with everything you say, no matter what, sometimes it can be a red flag, but it's just too hard to answer that question without knowing the context or the individual. Because some people are great and they're just being honest and they're still great, and then other people are just foul. So thank you for the super chat, Vivian in with the super chat. And I think I just spoke to you last week, Vivian. I hope everything's going well with you. We'll catch up. I'm sure. She said, "Hey, Kev, what are the behaviors and the displays that make a woman look promiscuous when interacting with men in public, besides twerking and dressing lightly?" Okay, that's a good question, Vivian. Vivian with the layers. So, what are for those of you who didn't hear? What are the behaviors and displays that make a woman look promiscuous when interacting with men in public? I'm assuming you mean strange men, men you don't know. I think that being way too close on a man way too quickly, like not having a boundary of personal space, allowing men into your personal space without backing up. Like a lot of times, naturally, if a person gets into your personal space and you don't trust them, or you're still vetting them, you'll back up, you move away. Sometimes when guys get in kissing range, they're trying to test your sexual boundaries, and if you don't move away, then they know they can go a little bit further with you than they may be able to go with other women. Sometimes guys, they grab your hips. Don't let a man touch you. I talk to a lot of women who do this. It makes them look very promiscuous. They let men touch them. So men start breaking the touch barrier in more intimate places. First, it's like they're trying to move you along the small of your back. Then they're grabbing your hips, and they might even grab your ass. If you let a man touch you, he's going to assume that he has dominion over you, sexually, and that you'll give him that. You'll relinquish that power and give it to him, and he can have his way with you. So don't let men touch you. Don't let men too close, especially to your face. These are just body language signs. These are the nonverbals. Don't laugh at every dumbass joke. Like, have a personality, have an opinion about what's funny or not. Don't try to appease a man's ego by laughing at everything he says. I mean, you can be friendly. You can be receptive to his comical whims, but don't appear to be a groupie, right? So, like I said, you just have to stay true to yourself. It's very obvious when someone's trying to um, entertain someone's ego, and when they're just genuinely having a good time. So most of the promiscuous cues that guys go by. I talk to guys all the time who date around, whether they freshly divorced or they just broke up. Most of them have touch cues. Most guys are touching to figure out how promiscuous a girl is. They're not talking unless they're talking about sex. A lot of guys, if you're in public and the guy's accosting you or speaking to you sexually, and he's constantly his innuendo, his sexual innuendo after sexual innuendo, and you're receptive to it, and you're not correcting him, or you're still responsive to him, then he knows maybe that, or he believes he knows, he thinks that you're more promiscuous than the woman who's a bit more conservative verbally. Again, everybody does what they want, but when you let a man talk to you sexually, or you let a man touch you, especially sexually or in sexual places very casually, then he's going to assume you're promiscuous. So those are the biggest cues. I hope that answers your question, Vivian, but I know I'll be talking to you soon, so you'll give it back to me if I didn't. Yeah, somebody said buffering constantly. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with this computer. We'll figure it out. Somebody said dating on the job. Hi, Kev. What's your thoughts? Son dating on the job, had a real bad experience. She must be from New York. Bunny Drop must be from New York. What's your thoughts, son, on dating on the job? I don't know. I think it's okay. It depends on your job. How important your job is to you. Whether you have a job or you have a career, that matters. If you just have a job and it's disposable, and you don't know, and you don't believe you're going to be there forever, and you don't depend on it, then yeah, you can date all you want. But if you have a career, it could endanger your career. It could endanger the trajectory of your career. You might want to move on. You might want to get somebody who doesn't endanger your livelihood. So I guess that's the caveat. Is trying to figure out what's at risk if you do choose to date with someone in the job. What's at risk? What are you truly risking in doing that? Somebody said, how do I politely tell or show a man I'm not interested in him without being rude? You could just say, hey, I'm not trying to be rude, but you're just not my type. Sorry. With a smile, I don't think that you need to coddle a man's ego when you're rejecting him, but you just don't be rude. Like you said, you don't want to be rude. You don't want to be destructive, right? But you don't need to coddle him either. Just be polite and be excuse me. Just be polite and just be sturdy with him. Like, don't be very assertive, but very polite about him not being your type. And I think that most men will get the hint. If a guy doesn't get the hint, then you have to be rude. That's the only thing that some men respond to is rude. So it just depends on the guy, and if whether or not he's responding to your cues or your verbal words that you're not interested. Man, a lot of people saying this buffering stuff. I'm gonna have to figure this out. For the buffering, I do apologize. I will. I'll get the phone company on the line, and I think I'll probably be switching internet companies pretty soon because this is becoming a thing. It's kind of irritating. So I will get that handled. I will get that issue fixed soon. Somebody said texting a friend at 5 a.m. a woman. Yeah, right. Okay, y'all got another conversation going, so that's cool. Um, Someone said I went no contact with this guy, and he occasionally tries to get back in contact with me, even as far as telling my friend is bugging him that I won't talk to him. What should you do? Well, I don't know what he did to for you to go no contact, and I'm not sure what your Alicia. I don't know what your goal is in trying to go no contact. No contact is what what women do a lot of times when they are trying to fix a man or change his behavior, to get more desirable results with him. But sometimes men, it doesn't live in a man to be any better than he is. And so when you're going no contact, you have to do so with every intention on actually moving on. You don't go no contact as a rule, as a ruse. You go no contact because you're setting yourself up to live a new life. And so, who cares if it's bugging him if he deserves to be out of your life? I don't give a damn if the people who wronged me are being bugged by me being distant from them. I don't think that's any of my business how they feel about my distance. And so I guess that's just the difference between me and some other people. Which don't be too compassionate to people who have contributed to your emotional destruction. I don't know what he's done for you to have to kick him out or go no contact. And I'm not sure, like I said, what your goal is. If your goal was to get him to change and get him to, make improvements, then he's going to have to show you something. I don't know. I guess I would have to know that situation, but it sounds like all he's doing is begging to get you. He's not even begging. He said it's bugging him. I don't even know what to do with that. It's not, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I need to change. I need to do this. And so I promise this, I promise that. Like, he's making no commitment to do anything other than what he's already done. He's just saying he's bothered by the fact that you won't talk to him. So I really don't give a crap if he's bothered by it or if it's bugging him. Continue as you are, no contact. That's how I feel. I don't know how you feel. I don't know what he did. So Jim 44, thank you for the $5 super chat. I really do appreciate it. And no question. That's just love. Somebody said it's that bad though. I think y'all having another conversation without me. Somebody said I've been talking to someone for about 6 months and we don't even have a label. We don't have a label, but I would like to know if I'm wasting my time. If you've been talking to somebody for 6 months and you don't have a label, I suppose you should be trying to figure out what you guys are, what direction you're taking, because 6 months is a long time to dedicate to a situation that you don't have direction for. You should at least know where you're going, what the goal is. And people say talking, and so T. Erica, people say talking all the time. And by talking, they mean a plethora of things. So if by talking, you mean going out on dates and having sex on a regular basis for 6 months and you don't have a label, you might not get that label. After 6 months of banging you, a man knows whether or not he wants to commit to you. And that's why I always tell people, stop having sex with men who have not committed to you. If a relationship prerequisite is that a man commits himself. If the sex prerequisite to have sex with you, a man needs to be your boyfriend. A lot more of y'all will start having boyfriends. But because most of y'all don't require boyfriends, you just require vibes and feelings and and a crush. Then all these guys are banging all these women who just have vibes and feelings and likes and crushes. But they don't have boyfriends because it's not required of a man to commit himself to a woman anymore. It's all he has to do is give her vibes or make her feel like he might like her, and he can dangle that relationship in front of her for years or months or years until he gets tired of banging her, and then he just moves on. A lot of times that happens to a woman. She be giving herself to a man for 8 or 9 months, and then he tells her, I really don't want a relationship. And then 2 weeks later, he's in a relationship with someone else, someone he actually liked, someone he liked way more that he wasn't playing around with, someone he had a crush on. So please stop doing that. Stop having sex with all these dudes just so they can stick around, just to keep them around, so they will so that they can be impressed by you in some way. You're not gonna, you can't f your way into a man's heart. You can't do favors. You can't suck your way into a man's heart. So whatever y'all got going on with these guys that don't have to commit themselves to you, and you dealing with them for 6 months and 9 months, you're doing yourself a disservice, because most guys aren't committing at that rate. After 2 or 3 months, a guy knows whether or not he can see himself with you. It doesn't take a man 6 months of banging you to figure out if he wants to be your man. Every good man I know gets right. Like when he starts messing with a woman, that's what he's doing. I think this is my man right here. Let me see. What's up, Dale? How you doing, folk? Thanks for this $5 super chat. Yeah, that's my brother, man. Deshar, my brother, man. But Deshar, another good man, great man, one of the greatest men I knew, man. I ain't never seen Deshar play around with no woman for months at a time. Deshar will get with a woman, and that's what he doing. Now Deshar married, so that's what he doing. But he didn't play around with his wife before he talked. He didn't talk to her for 6 months and play around with her feelings and use her up before he got with her. He just got with her. He did what he had to do because he seen something he wanted. And a lot of y'all got these guys out here, and they test driving you, and they get tired of test driving you. And when they get tired of test driving you, they start test driving somebody else, and they tell you, oh, you know what? I told you I didn't want no relationship. I told you we wasn't doing nothing. I told you I don't like labels. But they in your pants, they in your bed, they in your mouth every night. Y'all got to cut that out. Like, y'all doing it to yourself, and then y'all say, well, oh man, these men ain't this, these men ain't that. They not. You right. You are absolutely right. Some of these guys are everything that you think they are. Every bad thing that you've called them, they are. But you have the control over your body. Unless you have been a victim of some sexual assault by these same guys, you allowed all of that to happen. So don't do that to yourself, because you are supposed to be your advocate. The world doesn't advocate for you. The world isn't here. The world won't protect you like you can protect you. So just start making better decisions. Make decisions that are congruent with what you want from life. That parallel with the goals that you have emotionally. And stop laying down with these guys that's not your man. If a man think all he got to do is be like, hey, can we just be, let's go steady. Let's just be together, put a label on it. All these guys will start putting labels on it, and then everybody have a boyfriend. Now, y'all might have short, choppy relationships, maybe not. But people will get the commitment they want, if that becomes the prerequisite. If commitment becomes the thing that is required for a man to get in your pants, guess what? Now you got a boyfriend. If he never has to do that, why would he? It's just, I don't get it. And of course, Christian folk, don't have sex before marriage. All of that stuff is cool. But, even so, if a man knew that all he had to do was put a ring on it to get the pants, then more of y'all be having rings on y'all finger. But again, the standards are lacking. I'm ranting up, I suppose. So I'll stop ranting. I'll get back to my questions. Hold on. Andrea. Thank you. I appreciate you. Andrea Manessis. I ain't going to beat your last name up, but I do appreciate your super chat, and I appreciate your question. She said, just met a guy from the same college on a meeting. We made out and had chemistry, sexual too. Now at times he's cute, shows interest. Other times he's a bit cold, takes hours to text back. He plays hide and seek. Why? I think guys understand that the emotional roller coaster works in their favor. If a guy can keep you on your toes, keep you guessing, you're more likely to try to figure him out and focus on him more than you are the guys who are calling you back every time you call them, who are texting you back every time you text them, who are giving you paragraph responses to your 1 or 2 word texts. Like, probably 70% of the women that I speak to that aren't in a relationship and talking to somebody are talking to a guy that they're only interested in him because they can't tell if he's interested in them. It's I don't know why, but psychologically that's just what we respond to. People want what they don't know they can have, or they think they can't have. So I think that he's just aware of his actions and how they affect you, and he's doing what it takes to woo a woman's pants off. He might be a good guy though. Some guys do this stuff naturally. Some guys are just naturally very flaky, and then other guys practice it. Some guys learn it. There was a time that I learned to be flaky when I really wanted to impress a girl. Now I didn't weaponize it and get in her pants. What I did was I just pretended to be flaky or pretended to be disinterested, and then boom, she was in a relationship because she started falling in love with me because I know how to do that. But a lot of these guys take that skill, they take that knowledge, and instead of committing to a woman, they just sleep with her. So you just got to be very careful if a guy's giving you the emotional roller coaster game. You got to make sure that you're holding to your standards and that you're not breaking your standards in order to get more consistency. Never break your standards to get a man to be more consistent because he will not. That's not how that works. If the guy's playing hide and seek, match his effort. So if he stops talking to you or if you're not hearing from him, he shouldn't be hearing from you. If he's playing you like that, because eventually what happens is you'll start to chase him and then you'll start to look for his validation. You'll start to do anything to keep him around, anything to get his consistency and to feel like you earned his time. And it puts you in a very vulnerable place. I don't know why he's doing it, but if you're making out and having sexual chemistry, uh, and y'all really ain't got nothing established, maybe you should slow down the sexual stuff until you get some more consistency from him. He's probably doing that because he gets exactly what he wants from you. I hope that helps. If not, write me on Instagram, put a whole bunch of emojis or something in the first couple of lines, and we can talk about that more specifically. But I don't know enough of details. I don't know enough of the details about that to continue to answer your question from here. But I hope that helps. Um, okay, what's up, Vivian? Vivian's back. It's all love. Vivian said, I become hostile in the presence of my crush as a defense mechanism. My attachment style is insecure, anxious, avoidant, disorganized. I'm too protective of my heart. Do men do that shit too sometimes? Yeah, most men do. Most men who've experienced the humiliation and the pain of heartbreak, or watching the girl they like and try to pursue, date a lesser man, uh, ultimately do that. Sometimes it's not insecure. It's not. It doesn't have to be insecure or anxious. But there's a little bit of insecure, anxious, avoidant, disorganized. Anytime that someone likes someone, it's very difficult to keep things together around someone who makes your heart beat fast, right? So if you start to like somebody, you don't have the control over those parts of your mind, right, of your heart. Like you're always going to be anxious around a crush. That's anybody. You're always going to be less secure around a crush because you don't know if they like you and you don't know if you're making a good impression. Again, so that's anybody. Um, you're always going to avoid certain situations that you think make you look bad. You're always going to be a bit disorganized and flustered around a crush. I think that's a lot of people, and it's a lot of men, especially. Men sometimes come off creepy when they're around a crush because they're trying to contain themselves in such a way that it just looks unnatural, and women are really turned off by creepy behavior. But sometimes it's just a man not knowing how to present himself when he's flustered like that. So yeah, men do that too. It happens quite often. That's just how people act when they're around their crush. They don't know how to act because they don't feel natural. They don't feel comfortable. They don't feel like themselves. That crush has a power over them. It's weird. At least I felt like that at times. So I know how you feel, Viva. Um, Look at this. I'm gonna go down. Um, okay, y'all having a conversation. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Uh, Somebody said Kev. I just skipped down a little bit. Somebody said Kev met him at the gym. Felt a vibe. I got bold and gave him my number voluntarily. He never called. I still see him daily, and he still speaks and smiles. So awkward. How should I act towards him? Like you don't know what the hell going on. Like nothing happened. Like you never gave him your number. You win some, you lose some. Like man, rejection is not the worst thing in the world. Living in fear is. Uh, so what? He didn't call. He still smiles. He still speaks. He's being nice. I don't think he wants it to be awkward. He don't want you to feel awkward. And so what? Like he didn't call. Who like y'all realize how much rejection that men get? Men are rejected hundreds of times by it, like hundreds of times. Like men are constantly rejected. Every time a beautiful woman walks past a man and doesn't acknowledge his presence, he feels a little bit rejected. He feels invisible, right? Every time a guy asks for a woman's number and she tells him that she don't have a phone, or she don't know her number, or she got a man but she's at the club every weekend with some girls, like, we know you ain't got no man. Like, guys get rejected. If women I don't know I don't know what the numbers would be, but men get rejected so often that they don't even like tally the rejections. Like, I couldn't even tell you how many times I've been rejected. I could probably couldn't tell you how many times I've succeeded or been accepted either, because you know, practice makes perfect, and you just got to keep going. You got to keep trying. You got to keep, talking to new people. You got to keep meeting new people. Don't let one rejection cause you to shut down or change your gym or change your school or change your class or do any of that crap. Like, who cares if he didn't call you? I know that's sad. I know you feel like, man, I wish he would have called me. Now I feel embarrassed because I came on to him and he didn't really, he didn't reciprocate the interest. But guess what? It happens, and it's probably happened to him as many times as it's happened to you this year. It's probably happened to him that much this week. Like, just subconsciously, we're always rejecting and accepting people. So you should act very normal. Continue to smile, continue to speak. Just don't pursue him. Don't pursue talking to him. Don't pursue smiling at him. Don't pursue speaking. Don't be the first one. Don't go out of your way to speak to him. But if he feels comfortable enough with you, I'm sorry, to speak, then just be normal, man. Just chill. Eventually, you won't feel awkward. But just right now, because it's a bit fresh, you feel a little awkward. I understand. But this too shall pass, as the Christians say. Um, Somebody said, oh, Deshaun said, love you too, bro. Love what you're doing. Stay blessed, brother. Always, always. Tomorrow, I'm gonna get with you tomorrow, Deshaun. I know I talked to you earlier. We're gonna call each other. I'm gonna definitely get with you tomorrow. I got a free schedule. I don't have no consultations or nothing like that, so I should be able to get with you easy. Bethany Sims, how do you explain a man marrying you after 30 years of living together and now your kids are grown? Man, I know people who've been together 17 years with 4 kids and ain't married yet. Sometimes people just don't care about being married. Marriage is an idea that some people groom themselves to have an affinity for. Like, I don't think that everybody cares about marriage as much as they do the union of a relationship. The love. You said, how do I explain marrying you after 30 years of living together? Man, listen, if y'all been together 30 years and y'all been happy, then that's how you explain it. You don't have to be married to be happy. And I think some of y'all confuse marriage with happiness, or the commitment of marriage with like solidifying your emotional bond. I just don't think that always is the case. I don't think that marriage does anything for your relationship that commitment, that love, that trust, that understanding, that effort, that consideration doesn't do. Marriage isn't any of those things. It's literally just a contract where we own each other. So, and I respect marriage. I'm married. But guess what? I would still be with my wife, and I would still be as happy if I wasn't married. And so some people just don't care about the union of marriage. They don't have that the what they call it, the sanctity of marriage just doesn't compute for some people. Hold on. All right, somebody said I missed a super chat because YouTube decided not to show me, so my wife just sent it to me. Appreciate you, pretty girl. Furious Iris said, and I hope I got you right. Furious Iris said, he texted another girl at 5 a.m. How do I address it? I don't know what the context of your relationship is, Furious Iris, but I'm assuming that you're talking to a guy and you caught him texting another girl at 5 a.m. I suppose you need to figure out what you're willing to put up with, and either make that very clear, or make some distance, create some distance. Clearly, he's distracted, right? So if I was you, if you're in a relationship with this guy, definitely make some distance. But if y'all just talking and y'all really don't owe each other anything, and you just thought that you were the only girl he was talking to because you just assumed, because he might be the only guy you're talking to, maybe you should just kind of clarify what y'all doing. Sometimes people need a framework, or people need People need a structure to respect. When there's no structure, you said idle hands turn to mischief, right? And so I don't know the context of your relationship, but if y'all are in a committed relationship, then clearly you haven't or he doesn't understand what your standards are. You haven't done anything wrong, but he has no understanding of what your standards are. And if he does and he's betraying those standards, then you need to move on. Um, or you need to create some distance. I can't tell you to break up with a brother or not. I don't know what he texted. You didn't say what he texted. But I guess that would depend too. What was he texting another girl at 5 a.m? Did he miss her? Was it one of them WYD texts? Like, what was it? I just know that it's inappropriate. Clearly, if you involved with somebody. So if your standards are clear and he's still doing that, then he's not the guy for you. You need more integrity. You need more you need more of a commitment. You need more consideration. You need more respect. Um, but if it's just some guy that you're talking to that you were hoping that you were exclusive with, maybe you need to establish exactly what y'all doing, and y'all need to have one of them "what are we" conversations, because I thought maybe we were this, and it appears to be that we're that. I hope that helps. Annette Church said, Dear Kev, first of all, thank you for your channel. I recently met a man online who was very nice, but love bombing me, not sexually, but he seems to like my mind. It is writing me out. Help. I think that if a guy's love bombing you, he just be a bit over enthused, right? And we talked about I know my most popular video thus far is some about being desperate, or the signs, the things that women do to make themselves look desperate. And look desperate is the key word. Look, right? You don't want to give someone the impression that they don't have to work, that they own your heart, that they own your emotions, right? Or that they're the only person that could possibly end up with you. You don't want to give them that, because some people can't be trusted with that level of power, especially men. Men can be trusted as the prize. That's why the woman has to be the prize, because men don't know how to deal with it a lot of times. It can only be abused if it gets in the wrong hands of a man, of the dominion over your heart. So if he's love bombing you, you clearly are the prize for him. So that's a good thing. He clearly has a reverence for you. He has honor for you. He has respect for you. That's a good thing. But love bombing is really it's a bit distasteful, and it's a bit off-putting. So like you said, he's writing you out. What you need to do, because you have so much leverage, this brother will probably do whatever it takes to keep you around. So if he's love bombing you, as nicely and as assertively as you can tell him, just tell him that his affection is a bit heavy. Just tone it down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can talk to these guys. Like, sometimes you have to have difficult conversations with people even before you get into a committed relationship. Some people require that type of structure, and if left to their own devices, they'll ruin it. And if you want to maintain this relationship and you want to maintain interest, sometimes it's just his habits need to be tweaked a bit, to make him more palatable. So just let him know, hey, listen, man, you're really mushy. I appreciate it, and I love the fact that you honor me and you care about me and you respect me. But man, I'm not as mushy as you are. We might, we're just a little different in that way. So could you give me a bit of space? Maybe just wait for me to come to you, and then give me a chance to kind of just breathe for a minute. And maybe he'll say yeah, maybe he'll be a little bit hurt about it. But I bet his behavior will change, because if he's love bombing you, it's because he likes you a lot. So you could attempt that. Vicky E, $10, no question, just $10 of love. I appreciate your super chat. Thank you. Like I said, and nobody has to help me out. It's really nice to see people being thankful with their actions and not just their words. But I'm taking all of it. And listen, if you can't super chat, that's completely fine with me. If you appreciate me and you want to show love to me, just share my videos. Okay, so some people got it in their pockets to do, and so we appreciate that, and we always give them praise. But you know what? It's just as helpful for me when you share my videos. A lot of y'all be talking about, oh man, you should have more subscribers. You real good, or however y'all, whatever you think about me, and that's beautiful. But if you think I've helped you in any way, if you think that my channel could be helpful to anybody else, just share my videos. Whatever video that you think will help somebody, just share my videos. And That's enough that's enough appreciation for me. Like, I appreciate everybody. None of y'all are just numbers to me. I'm not counting subscribers thinking, oh my God, man, I need to get to this many or that many. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm approaching 100,000, so that's really cool. But it's never lost on me that these are 100,000 real people. These are real people, right? Real people who, for whatever reason, I believe I've touched them in some way, or have given me the opportunity to touch them in some way eventually. So, like I said, I appreciate all y'all. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate y'all sharing my videos, especially. And like I said, keep just showing love in that way. Keep showing love with your actions. You know what I'm saying? Because when I appreciate people, I try to do something to show that. And all of y'all who keep sharing my videos, spreading them across the internet, that's the most beautiful form of appreciation. Outside of a super chat that I can get. So I appreciate all of y'all. I just said the word appreciate a whole lot of times. Disregard. Somebody said common sense is easier said than done. I made my fair choice of mistakes. Absolutely. Common sense, like I said, isn't all that common sometimes. And if you're unaware of certain things, then it's not common to you at all. Something has to be common, to you. And if you haven't experienced it, then it's not common to you. So don't get down on yourself for needing what they call common sense advice. I can't stand when I get these comments sometimes in the comment section, obviously. Let's say they be like, "Oh, this is common sense. Why would anybody need to be told this?" Well, it's not common to them. It's a foreign situation to them. Like, a lot of people appear to not need common sense advice, but if you're not exposed to certain situations enough, if you're not aware of these concepts, then it's not common to you, right? And so, people like to exalt themselves above others by insulting people who need common sense advice. And it's just funny. It shows that they're not aware of their own narcissism, and their absolute need to exalt themselves above someone just because they think they know something that someone else doesn't. Listen, for those of you who think that common sense advice is too beneath you, everyone you meet in your life is your superior in some way. Everyone. The homeless person that you walk past, that you drop the spare change in the cup, that person knows something about something that you don't know. They've experienced something that you haven't experienced. They have something to teach you if you would let them, if you had the time, right? I don't care if it's the janitor, if it's the person shuffling the fries at McDonald's. Everyone you meet in life is your superior in some way. Some of y'all got to humble yourselves. Like, I don't assume I know everything, right? Like, I have clients that, they come to me for relationship advice, for dating advice, for guy advice. And, to them, I am like, they guru, right? And I don't like the word, but, they think I'm awesome for that. But, some of them are doctors and lawyers and, psychologists, or, I don't know, pick something like that's prestigious. They're that, right? They have these other skills, these other qualities that, for whatever reason, I don't possess. So I don't assume because I know about relationships that I'm smarter than them. I'm just sharing and exchanging the information that I know, that I have a grasp on, the wisdom that I've been given with them. Hopefully that they can take that and they can grow. But that doesn't mean that for whatever reason, because I'm the one giving advice, that I don't somehow need advice in other areas, right? People assume because I'm the talking head on YouTube, that I just think that I have it all going on, right? And no one has it all going on. No one has it all figured out. That's not how life works, right? Everyone needs advice on something. Everyone needs guidance on something, right? And so a lot of people are capable of mentoring me, who are coming to me for mentorship. You know what I'm saying? So there's a mutual exchange of wisdom, and there's just so many layers to what people consider to be intelligence that, yeah, common sense is easier said than done, because it's only common to the people who have it in certain areas. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. I can't read that. Somebody said, I didn't have sex with the guy I was talking to for 4 months. He was wanting a relationship. Is he playing games? If he's wanting a relationship, probably not. If he's wanting a relationship, it's probably, I'm sorry. If Latrice Taylor said you didn't have sex with the guy you was talking to for 4 months, I'm not sure if this is a continuance of the question I read earlier. it all kind of blends together. But she said, he's wanting a relationship. Is he playing games? If he wants a relationship and y'all been talking for 4 months, if you're not in a relationship now, I'm presume it's because you don't want a relationship, because you might not trust him. I'm not sure if he's playing games. I know if you haven't had sex with the guy and he's still sticking around, then maybe he's not playing games. Maybe he's a bit serious. Maybe he's patient. But if he wants a relationship and he's not begging you for sex, but he's begging you for a relationship, or he's begging you for a commitment, then it's likely that he's not playing games. Men, a lot of times when people say, "Oh yeah, we've been talking for 4 months," they just mean we've been having sex and dating, and when is this going to turn into anything? And the answer is usually never, because you've given him everything he needs without the burden and the obligation of a commitment. But if a guy is talking to you for 4 months and that's all you doing is maybe a bit of making out and some talking and some dating, and he's sticking around for that long and he's giving you his undivided attention, you can tell when a guy is visiting you intermittently, or when he's dating you for 4 months. If a guy's dating you for 4 months and you can tell that you get all his extra time, or you get all of his dating time, and you're not splitting it among other women, no, he's not playing games. He's not having sex with you. He's putting up with whatever he believes that inconvenience might be, and then he's asking you for a relationship. He's asking you for a commitment. I don't see how he would be playing games if those are the hard facts about that. So, Latrice Taylor, you might have a decent one on your hands. Um, some guys, I should say this, some guys can be very patient and not have sex with a girl, but it's because they're intermittently visiting that woman. They're not dating her like on full time. Like it's like a part-time job. I'm part-time dating you and I'm banging these other girls on the side. So that can be a thing too. But if you feel like you got that man's attention, then yeah, he's solid. Uh, uh, Camcat Pro, like whatever business that is. Shout out Camcat Pro. They just gave me a $5 super chat. So go visit Camcat Pro. I don't know what that is, but hey, y'all go check it out. And I appreciate your super chat. Appreciate the love. I'm sure there's somebody who actually watches my channel, but just in case you're not, hey, you just gave me $5, so you earned that one. Somebody said I'm celibate. When should I let someone know that? I don't know. Third date. I think that a lot of times women who are virgins and women who are celibate, they share that information a bit too soon. The thing is this: men have to have the hope of one day being in your pants, right? Even the best guys want to be in your pants. Okay, so if you steal that hope away from them by the first time you talk to them, or the first time you're on a date with them, saying, "Well, you know what? I'm celibate." It seems like it seems so far away from their minds to like they can't even grasp when they would be close enough to you to lay you down if they just met you. So it makes sex feel like an impossibility. It makes sex feel like a far-fetched idea. Like they can't possibly be as good enough, quickly enough, or effectively enough to be the guy who has sex with you. Now, listen, guys, they obviously love more than sex about women, but it's an important part of what motivates them. If they can't be motivated by the hope of sex, then they have to, before you steal that motivation from them, they have to be motivated by something else. So if a man's attracted to you and he's going on his first date with you, and all he knows about you is that you're attractive, his motivation is sex. It might be interest. He's trying to figure out if he's interested in you. He's already established if he's attracted to you. But when the first time a guy meets you, and you don't owe each other anything. You don't know each other. The motivation is sex. When you start to get to know someone, then the motivation shifts. There becomes different motivations. You got motivation. You got sexual motivation. You got emotional motivation. You got intellectual motivation, right? So he starts to become attracted to other things about you. When you tell a man that doesn't know those other great things about you that he can never have sex with you, or you insinuate that, he doesn't feel like he has no clue about if he even likes you enough to deal with that. Like, someone has to care about you enough, or like you enough, or have enough of an interest established to decide that this is worth the wait. When a man just meets you, he doesn't know enough about you to wait for your celibacy. He doesn't know enough about you to wait, to have sex with you for whatever other reason. So you don't want to steal a man's hopes of sex away by just saying, "Well, hi, I just met you. My name's so and so. It's our first date, but I don't have sex," because it for him it seems like it can never happen because most of the people that we talk to we don't ultimately end up with. I don't know how many women I've been on a date with. I can't even count them. But I can count on one hand how many serious relationships I had. I don't even need a whole hand, right? So when you start thinking about the odds, and most people understand very quickly in their dating lives that most dates and most times you start talking to somebody, it doesn't materialize or it doesn't become a relationship. It just y'all fizzle out, y'all find out that y'all not a match, and then y'all stop talking, right? That's how most 90% of the people you've talked to don't end up a boyfriend or anything. You just kind of you meet each other, it don't feel right, and you go separate ways because it's all about a game of matching. So if you celibate and you tell a guy from the very beginning, yo, I'm celibate or I'm a virgin, and so I don't have sex with this or I don't have sex with that. That's cool. You should keep that standard. I'm not telling you to not have that standard. That's a beautiful standard. That is an amazing standard. Do that, but you don't have to verbalize it and sweep the hope from him right away. You wait till he knows enough about you to know that you're worth that weight. So by the second date, by the third date, once he start investing himself, then he realizes, I like this girl. I like her personality. I like her mind. I like the way she thinks. I like the way we communicate. I like the way it feels being with her. I just want to watch TV with her. Like I just want to be around her. So we say, listen, before we get this, before we start making out and it goes too far, I'm celibate and I only have sex with this, or I only want to have sex when this happens. At least he knows at that point who you are outside of your sexuality, and he can make the determination. Well, I like her enough to wait. I like her enough to put up with this or deal with this or tolerate this. But if a man doesn't know you and all he knows is he's attracted and you tell him no sex, you've just told him that he'll never make it there with you, and I'm not sure that that's your goal. So I always like to say about like date 3, date 4, when it feels like he's expecting sex, that's when you hit him with it. And I know that sounds a bit shady, but it's not any more shady than these guys who lay these women on their backs and then they stop calling them the next day. So you need to protect yourself. That was a long answer to a very short question, so I'm sorry about that, but I think it's an important point to be made. Mm. And so before I go, I'm gonna expound on it a little bit more. Okay, so and a lot of times, women be celibate and women be virgins, and they think that okay, so these guys aren't sticking around because I'm celibate or because I'm a virgin. No, it's because their presentation of those ideas is it doesn't come at the most opportune time. You have to present those ideas in a timely manner, but the time has to be appropriate. The timing has to be appropriate, and when you like I said, to my earlier point, when you say that stuff too soon, you have guys who don't know enough about you making a determination whether or not they're willing to wait. Nobody who doesn't know you is willing to wait, and so that's why a lot of the celibate girls and the virgins are having issues because they're sharing that information way too soon to guys who don't have enough of an attachment to them to wait. Um, so yeah, um, ladies, real men don't play games. Games are for children. What you said, that's all good. That's what I think. Hi, feeling iffy about an old flame who comes and goes. We're not dating, but he seems distant after I called him a friend. Is that normal? Well, maybe he wanted to be more than a friend. Or maybe he wanted to be introduced as a special friend, or something like that. I think you might have just hurt his ego if he expected a nicer introduction and then friend. Sometimes that just happens like that, and people have big egos. And, you can't really coddle everybody's emotions, but if that's all he is to you as a friend, then he just got to deal with that. Um, I just scroll to the bottom, or I just pop down to the bottom, so I start reading and I'll go back up. Somebody said, yes, there are women who don't dress modestly. They wear very provocative clothes, so men reduce them to a sex object. They find themselves in a situation where it's only sex. Rachel H says that. Yeah, absolutely. She wasn't asking a question. She might have been talking to somebody, but it's a decent enough point. Um, Steve, we got a couple guys in the house. What's up with you, Steve? He said, "Good advice, Kev. I appreciate you, brother. I really love when these guys watch men and then they share their advice because a lot of these women be thinking, okay, so just because you're good doesn't mean these other guys are good. And then I'm starting to get now a lot of good guys in the comment section. Somebody said I not like this advice. Well, I don't give them if you don't like it. But a lot of good guys are now in the comment section. Sharing these experiences with these women, and so they can see that it's not just me. I'm not just the only good guy around. There are a lot of good guys. There are plenty of good men around, and so you just have to make sure that you're not giving me all the credit for a plethora and a million good men somewhere. It's just some of y'all don't like good men. Y'all not attracted to them, and that's just bottom line. That's real. Somebody said this old MF is bragging about they hid your comment because maybe because you put a I don't know if you put a cuss word or whatever, but somebody said this old MF is bragging about driving a new Benz and call himself giving me $100. I cussed his A out and blocked him and put a spell on him. Next time, don't try to play me because of your egotistical. Okay, you put a spell on him, huh? That's what's up. I'm not gonna say anything negative about that because I don't need no spells. But hey, you protected yourself. Duly noted. No offense to you. Um, One of my girlfriends is trying to hook me up with a man that's been separated from his wife. Apparently, it's been over for a while, but should I even entertain it? Yes. First of all, a lot of these people don't get divorced very quickly because divorce can be very expensive. Very expensive. Divorce is a damaging and disturbing financially thing to go through. So sometimes it's not worth it until you meet another person. Like I meet people and I talk to people and I have clients all the time that are in the process of a divorce, but it's not finalized because they don't want to split the house up or they haven't split the cars up or they haven't reformed got their taxes together or the retirements are about to be split apart. Like it's a lot going on. And when they meet somebody that's worth it, that's worthwhile, when they start dating somebody, yeah, they can be separated. The relationship is dead. The attraction is dead. There's nothing going on, but they're legally married. For the Christian folk, I understand, the dilemma. I get that. But at the same time, let's not pretend that these people are in a relationship, where they're, laying down with each other and all of this stuff. Sometimes when two people are separated, they've only separated and they haven't divorced because of the inconvenience and all the paperwork that goes with getting divorced. It can be very stressful for people. So I think that you should entertain it if your friend thinks he's a decent, if your girlfriend thinks he's a decent guy, and you both have something to offer each other, as long as you don't cross whatever lines or standards that you have for dating this guy who's separated. I think it's appropriate. I don't see why a person who's separated from his wife or a woman who's separated from her husband can't start to explore while in process of getting a divorce. I know a guy personally who just went through that, and why, like, when he found a girl he liked that was worth the trouble of getting a divorce and reworking his finances. And so when he got another girlfriend, he finalized the divorce. They went to court. They broke down all the cars and houses and stuff, and then he moved on. So yeah, I don't think that it's wrong, Talisha, if you entertain at least getting to know the guy or meeting the guy. I don't think that's wrong. Just if you're Christian, don't lay down with him. And that's all I got to say about that. Let me see. Shout out Steve Dunlinger, Don Delinger. He said, you're a good guy. I'm sure he is too if he's in his comment section. Like I said, a lot of these guys are real cool, man. And I really love when they get in the comment section and they start talking to these women, because women always give me credit for being like the only, it's just you, Kev. No, it's not just me. I don't even know. Like maybe they say birds of a feather flock together. Like my man Deshaw that gets in the comment section, man, that dude's an amazing man. Like he's an amazing man. He done ran dudes out of his girl's house. Like, I mean, women do some horrible stuff to guys, especially good guys. You know what I'm saying? A man can be handsome, he can be tall, he can have a good job, good money, he can have all of that, and then he can come home and still have to run some man up out his house or run some man up out his girl's house or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, these women are just as dirty as some of these men, so you just got to watch them. And so, like I said, but birds of a feather flock together. So I don't know none of these guys. Like I don't be knowing a bunch of these sorry ass men that y'all be talking about. I know they exist. I've met them. But man, everybody I deal with, all my friends have always been great men. They've always treated women well. I've known like one or two guys. I was cool with one or two guys that was, that was trash. But for the most part, we all were decent people, you know, who mean well. Even if you don't do everything perfect or do everything right, you mean well. And I think that you have to mean well to be in my life, and these guys should mean well to be in yours as women. Tatisha Sherman. I hope I just got that right. I think I got it right on the first time. And I'm getting better with these names. Um, Said, before you mutilate my name, just call me Tessie. Okay, so I probably mutilated your name, Tessie. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I thought I got it right before I even answered the question or looked at the question. She said, anyway, that being ready for war at all times. That was deep. I love it. More men should think like such. Yeah, she's referring to when I said I don't smoke. People said always look sleepy, and a lot of people say I look high in my videos. And I keep telling people I don't smoke or I don't drink. I don't do any drugs at all because I think a man should be sharp and he should be ready for war at all times. He should be ready for war physically, mentally, spiritually, and otherwise, right? And that's just how I move. I'm a father of two. I'm a husband. I don't know what the threats are, but real men are always at least ready for threats, right? Assessing threats. I have to keep my family safe. I have to make sure I make it home at all times. Like my biggest goal every day when I leave my house is to make it home to my sons. I got to make it home by any means necessary. I'm gonna make it home, and when they with me, they gonna make it home, right? And so I don't believe in doing anything outside of probably eating a poor diet that would decrease my life expectancy. And I just don't live life on the wild side. I don't need the excitement of drugs or clubbing or any of that type of stuff at this point. All I want to do is make sure I live a long, healthy life, that I have all the movement of my limbs. You know what I'm saying? And I have the ability of my mind. I want to be sharp. I always want to be the smartest person in the room, or at least be the sharpest person in the room, right? I don't ever want to be caught slipping, mentally, or just by a lesser man, you know. So yeah, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, but I'm serious about that. Like I'm always sharp. The people who know me kind of laugh because I can be at a bar. Like if I do get invited out, somebody might be at a bar. They be like, "I know you don't drink, kid, but you gonna come out with us?" I'm like, "Yeah, I come out," and they know I'm the designated driver. I'm security. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching everybody around us. I'm making sure everybody's safe. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I am. That's my nature, and I've been stuck like that since about 13. God love freedom. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. $4.99. I'm rounding it up. It's $5, and thank you. Um, let him learn you before giving up anything. No sex. Absolutely, absolutely. Somebody said my Christian ex was a fake who cheated on me. Yeah, man. Listen, don't just because you at church don't make you a Christian. Don't make you holy. Just like going in the garage don't make you a car, going to church don't make you a Christian. You know what I'm saying? I know some people that go to church, they at church every Sunday and every Wednesday night, and every Saturday they fall down drunk. I know women who go to church every Sunday and every Wednesday night, and every Saturday their legs is up somewhere. I know men who are every Wednesday and every Sunday, and then they lying to their wives and they lying to this, like, so like you don't get no credit from me just because you live at the church. You know what I'm saying? You got to be what you got to be, who you present. And I'm gonna be honest, I only know one or two people who are about that life at all times. I know a very great man who's about that life at all times. He's everything people think he is spiritually, and but those people are few and far between because most people are flawed, and that's why they're in church. And I think that's the best place to be if you are spiritually flawed or if you're mentally flawed. I think that's the best place you can be. But at the same time, you don't get no credit from me for showing up. You got to be what you about. I don't even know why I got on that. I can't remember what the hell just happened, but maybe that needed to be said. Fun fact, I guess, you just need to do everyone a favor and stay single while I trust God and send me a real man that's faithful, because faithful people still exist. Faithful people absolutely exist. That's an absolute truth. And a lot of people think that for whatever reason, because they haven't experienced a faithful person, faithful people don't exist or good guys don't exist. But sometimes it's your judgment. It's the things that you're responding to. Some of y'all respond to signs of infidelity in men, signs of dishonesty in men, and you think because it makes you more excited to be around him. He keeps you on your toes. He's spontaneous. You know that you got this guy that's gonna be fun. He's got swagger. He's all these things that you're attracted to, but he's spontaneously cheating on you because he's spontaneous. Yeah, like there are things. Some of these things that y'all are looking for in men that y'all respond to are so damaging, and then you get the same result every time. And you're like, I can't believe that all these men are dogs. No, you just respond to the same sign of infidelity and the same sign of dishonesty every time when you get around a guy that's dishonest, and then you go give him some, and then the good guy that's been begging you to go out with him has been responding to all your text messages, been very, very consistent. You don't like him because he's boring, or he treats you too well. He's too nice. So that stuff happens. I think, just like y'all say, men just love women who are, the B word. Y'all say men love bitches. That's cool. And it's true. But guess what? Women love jerks. And y'all should understand, because y'all do the same crap with men who should be beneath y'all. Men date women who are beneath them, and women date men who are beneath them. So it's the same dumb thing. Man, my wife is blocking the hell out of somebody right now. Let me see. What the hell are they talking about? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, it's funny. You can't really block. It's hard to block people on here. Like you can't just kick somebody out of the conversation. I think they should make that a possibility on YouTube. But like somebody just talking, I can just move them out of the comment section. Instead, you can only put them on timeout, and that's kind of stupid because people being here. BYNC Dating Stories. Oh, you the one I gave you the shout out to. Hey, everybody check out BYNC Dating Stories and Dating Advice. That's Being Young and Christian. That's what BYNC stands for. I gave her a shout out a couple of videos ago and showed everybody her channel, and I hope she's doing well. I hope everybody's looking out. But if you are a Christian and you're mad that I cuss every once in a while, and you don't like what I talk about, and you hate the sex references from time to time when they happen, there are Christian dating relationship channels out there, and BYNC Dating Stories is one of them. Her channel is not formatted like mine. It's her personal blog, but I think it's something that the Christian folk can relate to, and I think that many of y'all like it. So BYNC Dating Stories. Hey, you have a wonderful night. I appreciate your live. Appreciate your super chat, and I hope my little shout outs get some people to you that need to hear what you got to say. Let me see. Somebody said, okay, I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. I'm gonna go on and move on with that. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Y'all having conversations among y'allself. You obviously, okay. Oh, fun fact. Every time, because I was like, so fun fact was the one saying a bunch of crap in the comment section. So every time I see somebody say fun fact, I thought they were being sarcastic or being, facetious, and they was cussing out the fun fact person. This keep getting blocked. Mags Free, keeping it real. I try. I definitely try. I do try, Mags. All right. Let me see. I ain't gonna repeat that. I'm gonna go and keep that to myself. Somebody said, you said earlier not to let a man know he has your heart, that power over you, because they can't handle it, at least some men. Is there a way of taking that power back without walking away? Yes. You start being more true to yourself. So Carla Williams, good question. If you go too far in projecting a man's power over you, then he becomes entitled to your heart. He becomes entitled to your best. He becomes entitled to your body. The way that you shift that dynamic and the way that you get that power back is to shut him off from the access that he thinks he's granted from knowing that he has power over you. So if he thinks he has dominion over your body because you let him touch you before, you need to start correcting him. You don't touch me like that. I let you get that off because I didn't know what the hell was going on, and it kind of caught me off guard. But listen, I don't really like to be touched like that because I don't know you like that. I don't trust you. We ain't got enough established. Maybe if we get to know each other, you can have those types of privileges. But for real, I need you to start respecting me, or this ain't gonna work. You have to start setting standards. That's the only way to get that power back. If you let a guy railroad you or just run over you roughshod, however he wants to do, he touches you how he wants to touch you, he talk to you how he want to talk to you, talking to you all greasy, all in your ear, and y'all ain't got that established. Then yeah, you can't get that power back. But if you start correcting the man and not responding to him or moving away or walking away when he doesn't respond to your correction, that's how you get that power back. Sometimes it only takes one time to correct a man and him know you mean it. But you have to be willing to walk away. You said without walking away. No, you have to be willing to walk away when you have standards. If you have standards, but you're not willing to walk away, then you don't have standards, right? Because if a guy knows you won't walk away, that's the same thing as knowing he has dominion over you, or he has your heart and power over it. You have to be willing to walk away for any of your standards to work, for any of that to make any difference. If a man knows you won't take it, then he won't give it to you. But if he knows you'll tolerate it because you don't want to walk away, then guess what? You're going to get everything he wants to give you and nothing more. Raw Flower says, you're amazing, Kev. I appreciate you. Thank you. Somebody said, going to church surely does not mean you're exempted. Most church folk be doing dirt in one way or another. Just hate it when men use God to get your guard down enough for them to get in. Absolutely. A lot of these church guys, I know one. I have a church relative who's had his way with the women among along the years, and that's the thing that attracts them is the church thing, and then they be face down behind up pretty soon, and it's just like it's the trap. And I don't even think he's trying to pimp out the spirituality as much as he clings to it because he needs it, but he meets people in that same realm who are weak in the same way he's weak, and it's a cluster F. So yeah, don't just give guys credit for being spiritual and give it up to him. Like, first of all, if a man's trying to get your guard down with the spirituality, then y'all shouldn't even be having sex. So as soon as he try to whip it out on you, you should already know, okay, yeah, he's playing the God game. That's cool, but real spiritual guys are actually going to be on a abstinence thing too, if that's what they own. A man that's about to take you down after church, he ain't about that life for real. You know what I'm saying? Or at least he ain't if that's what his pursuit is, and y'all don't have love established. A lot of spiritual people have love make love outside of marriage, and I get that. I get two people with a strong connection who want to be married, who want something real, and who've established a real connection, a real obligation toward each other emotionally. Yeah, they can be in church and they can be having sex, and that's a sin. But everybody got their sins, and I'm not counting nobody's sin. But when you just meet a guy at church, and 2 or 3 days later he trying to jump in your pants, and it's not because he cares about you, it's not because he wants to be with you, it's not because y'all got that time, man. It's just because he think you fine, sister Jenkins, you so fine. I want to have you. And then we're gonna be at church the next day, man. Go on out of here with that, man. Y'all know when people faking. But I ain't counting nobody's sins, man. Like I said, everybody, man, there's a lot of people having sex in church, and that's just how it moves. But that's because people are people. They go into church because they are imperfect. People aren't in church because they're perfect. And so, like, people who aren't, in church or who aren't religious always say, "Well, the church folk are doing this and that." They do, but they're in church trying to help themselves get to a place where they don't do the things that they don't, that they think they are frowned upon. So it's just very important. Somebody said, you still mutilated my name. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. She said, you still muted my name and my nickname as well. I'm used to it. The nickname is pronounced TC. Well, I'm so sorry. Look, you had to give me a $5 super chat to tell me I mutilated your name. I feel so bad. I'm so sorry. TC, I get you, folks. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better, TC. You should probably put one of them little pronunciation things, or say that in the first comments. You can say your $5, but I really appreciate it though. And like I said, I'm sorry I beat your name up, but you almost expected that. I was gonna beat your name up. I beat regular names up too. Hell, I beat a word up. Last time I was on live, I beat a word up so bad, and I didn't realize it till like 5 minutes later. I was like, you know what? I was mispronouncing the hell out of that word. Like, I knew it. I was just too sleepy to even catch it. I was just trying to answer the questions. So now that happens sometimes. I appreciate you, TC. Somebody said, fun fact, Kevin was my A1 partner in crime growing up. Let me see who this is. I don't know who that is. Kevin was my A1 partner in crime growing up. I don't know who that is, but I probably was. I doubt whatever we did, if you're speaking about me, was criminal. But hey, I was up to some mischief. I can give you that. Somebody said, "How, Kevin?" Hi, Kevin. Are you seeing my question? I sent it multiple times. So knowledge is power. I haven't seen your question. Ooh, I got some interesting questions up here. I haven't seen your question. Knowledge is power. If my wife is still watching, pretty girl, can you find me knowledge is power's question? And so I can see it, because it's a lot of questions here. I probably won't be able to get to it. If you still watching, if you sleep, do your thing, or you laying down, or whatever you watching the stories. I don't know, but if you still watching, give me knowledge is power's question. Oh, it's Dana. Man, cuz you tripping. Yeah, Dana's my favorite cousin. I got a lot of favorite cousins, but Dana's like my sister. Dana was gonna get some people beat up. I care about Dana a lot. I love you, baby. Um, and pretty girl is my wife. If y'all hear me refer to somebody, if I say, hey, pretty girl, do this and so, I'm talking to my wife. I don't use my wife's name. She's been pretty girl for the last 10 years. I'm not gonna start using her name now. Um, but what's up, cuz? Um, all right. So somebody said this might get interesting. Uh, I can't even get into it. Somebody said, how do you deal with a good guy with apparently that's not very well endowed? Man, I don't know. That might be a question you asked a female sex expert. I would have no knowledge of that subject whatsoever. Um, Good question though, but hey, you probably want to ask one of them female sex experts. It's enough of them on YouTube. Um, do that. It's a sexologist, I think. What's her name? I don't know. She follows me, but it's some famous sexologist ladies on here. You probably want to get with one of them on how to deal with the gentleman with that's lacking in that behavior. That brings me to my next point. My next video, I already shot it, so I'll be okay. So I just got your question. Knowledge is power. So after this point, I'll read your question. Hope you still on. So my next video is about male insecurities, because a lot of y'all seem to think that men are just out here inflated egos or something, that don't have anxieties or insecurities, and they're supposed to be, a real man would do this, a real man would do that. So I made a video about the top 5 insecurities that men have. Endowment is one of them. I think that it would be beneficial for some of y'all to listen to it, just because a lot of these guys are telling y'all that if a man wants you, he'll come and get you, and a man wants you, he'll does and so. And you're talking to men who are berated by thousands and hundreds of women every day. Like a YouTuber or a podcaster or an influencer of any kind who is very famous or semi-famous or micro-famous, whatever. Like people like me, for instance, like I don't know how many times a day someone comes on to me. I can't even tell you that, how many times a day someone comes on to me. So of course I have the confidence that if I was dating people, if I wasn't married and I was out here with women, I had the confidence I would just go after, I would just take what I want. I would go after whoever I wanted to, because I have that type of confidence. And influencers can relate to that type of confidence. Men who are too afraid to make YouTube channels, who are too afraid to make status updates, who are too afraid to talk to women, don't have that same confidence. So they're not in the same boat. They do not have that same that frame of reference, of just believing in themselves, right? So you can't talk to a very, very confident man about what a shy man might do unless he's been a shy man before. And some of these guys telling y'all that men do this and men only are this way because we are men and we a real man. That's just some bullshit. I've been confident. I've been afraid. I've been timid. I've been aggressive. I've been everything. Like I've been all of these things, and I know where my mind was at the time, where my heart was at the time, what was going on with me emotionally at the time. All of these things matter with the guy, whether or not he talks to you or approaches you or believes you when you say you want him and only him, or dates you with confidence, or asks you, what your number is, or touches you or kisses you first, or makes a move on a date. Like there are so many factors to a man's confidence that people just ignore because they keep telling people, well, a real man would do this. That's some bullshit. Stop listening to that crap. Some men aren't the most aggressive or the most assertive, but they become that when they're comfortable, and they're not comfortable with a beautiful woman yet. That's a big ass point. So I'm going to move on. I don't even know why I was talking about that. I'd be rambling. Pen, Andrea, I appreciate you. You're back. She said, "Do men really expect to be the girl?" She said, "Do some men really expect to be the girl to tell him to be his boyfriend after long time dating? Are they really that insecure or afraid of rejection?" No, I think that when a man gets very familiar with you, then he should already know that he's welcome to that. If a man's dating you, then he's welcome. He knows he has a privilege with you. Um, what I refer to more specifically when men are insecure or afraid of rejection are men who haven't met you, who haven't made like an impression felt, right? Who don't know if you like them or if you would accept them, who don't know if you would give them any time. Those men are afraid of rejection and insecure because they're not familiar with you. A man who's familiar with you, it depends on how long y'all been talking, but no, a man who's familiar with you should ultimately step up because he's being exposed to you. He should feel more welcome. Let me make sure I'm getting on my wife's text message. Uh, Gordon G, I appreciate the super chat. My wife sent me the screenshot of your super chat. YouTube didn't show me because it's under $2, but I appreciate 5 cents. I don't give a damn. So hey, Gordon, I appreciate you. We got a real one out there. Gordon seems to be a nice guy. Y'all might want to investigate Gordon because he seems to agree with a lot I say, which means we might have the same outlook on the honor that a woman should receive. Y'all shout out Gordon. Let me see. So knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. She said, man, I didn't ever read knowledge is power's question. Okay, so knowledge is power. Here's your question. Said, I see a guy every day on the train, no talking aloud, that locks eyes with me. He waves and says hi. I always smile and say hi back. How can I create an opportunity for him to talk to me? Stop saying hi and start asking him ask him an open-ended question. Hi is the scapegoat for the shy man, right? A man say, "Hey, hi, uh, hi." Hi is what you say when you don't want to have to say anything else. Like when I don't want to talk to people in the morning, I say hi. I don't say, "Hey, how are you?" Because that requires an answer. That requires somebody, "Hey, I'm cool, man. You know the weather. I don't give a damn what you think about the weather." I said hi. You're supposed to say hi, and then we're supposed to keep walking, right? Like in the morning, I ain't feel like talking to somebody. So even if you say hi with a pleasant intention or a vibe that, you're just being positive, hi is just too closed off. If you want to talk to that guy and you want to create an opportunity where he talks to you, ask him something, ask him an open-ended question, or give him an open-ended answer that requires a bit of investigation. So that's what I would suggest. I don't know why you said no talking aloud. I'm not sure what country you live in. Knowledge is power. Where there's no talking aloud on a train. Is it a library and a train together, or books on the train? I don't understand why there would be no talking aloud on the train. It just seems weird. But again, he waves and says hi, and he smiles, and you say hi back. Try to get close enough to him to ask him a question that doesn't have a one-word response available. And see how much he not enunciates, but see how much he elaborates on whatever information you've asked of him. Nice weather today, isn't it? He might have to say, well, yeah, I think it's a nice day. That's a start, and then every day you just find another open-ended question to give him until he's actually answering the questions. But if he doesn't show any interest in like I said, elaborating on any small points, then maybe he's not interested or he's not available. But yeah, open-ended questions usually open you up for conversations that build upon those types of things. Like you never want to just wave and say hi every day because that'll get stale. You'll stop doing that eventually. Okay, somebody else got some. Oh wow, look at this. Okay, so somehow or another, my wife is getting way more questions than me. That's because my chat thing freezes and hers is probably still running. So let me get into this. Listen, I'm not going to try to beat your name up but I'm going to answer your question. So I hope you're listening so I can answer this question. And I hope you be helped by this. She said, Kev, should I text a guy I'm into and thinking of approaching? I'm his secret admirer on V Day. As my approach to a man of my interest, as my approach to a man of my interest, I've never made the first move. What do you think? I think that you can. She said, as my approach to my, should I text a guy I'm thinking of approaching? Well, if you have his phone number, um, a YTN diva, a YTN diva, a YTN diva. I probably killed your name, murdered it. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I think that if you have his phone number to text him, then you might not have to worry about I mean, how did you get his phone number? Like, how did you get access to his phone number? Um, are you friendly with this person? They just don't know you like them. I guess I would need a bit more information. But you said to your question of you're thinking of approaching him, you're his secret admirer on V Day. Um, Listen, don't live in fear. You get one life as you. Even if you believe in reincarnation, you could come back as a frog. Like straight up. Like don't live in fear. Um, don't live in fear of rejection. Don't let the idea of rejection stop you from being everything that you want to be and attaining the things that you want to attain. It's a disservice to you. Um, the worst thing that he can do is reject you. And rejection is not that damn bad. It's not as bad as it seems. It's always horrible in your mind. The anticipation of rejection is horrible, but in actuality, rejection is just not that bad. So don't let the fear of rejection stop you from pursuing someone you think is a valuable man. Because all y'all keep telling me how good men don't exist, and then you'll find a good man, you'll locate him, you'll recognize him for being good, and then you won't talk to him because you don't want to be rejected. Now, either you want a good man or you want to save yourself the humiliation of rejection. Sometimes you can't have both. You have to pull the trigger. You have to actually live life with some boldness sometimes. So yes, to your question, man, a Yeti and Diva for Teal, you need to do your thing. You need to make yourself known. You need to at least make the impression. Make a move. I don't think it's that serious. If you don't appreciate it, you don't appreciate it. But at least you don't waste weeks and months thinking and daydreaming and hoping and wishing and planning and plotting without actually doing anything about it. You could just wait. You could waste so much of your life daydreaming stuff that you could just get the answer to super quick if you just put some action behind your dreams. And that's whatever. Like a lot of y'all got dreams and ambitions. Y'all won't do nothing. Y'all won't do nothing, but y'all won't, y'all want all these things. Sometimes you have to do something. Sometimes you have to make the first move, do what you can so God can do what you can't. Sheila Mahone says, where the heck is Gordon? Gordon, Sheila Mahone is after you. Gordon, Sheila Mahone is trying to find you. I'm looking at Gordon right here. Gordon G. He's Gordon G down here. He's Gordon G down here. He said that was me. Yeah, Gordon G. Sheila Mahone is trying to say hi. I think the super chat might pull this. Gordon probably sees you because you're a super chat, so he might be able to find you now. But Gordon, talk to Sheila Mahone. Maybe we just made a match. Let me see. Somebody said, I want to quit drinking. I'm more discerning. Well, you should stop drinking. I grew up in AA and NA. Hell, I could probably be a sponsor to somebody drinking and drugging at this point, but it's very sad to witness what people do to their lives when they get too indulgent with those drugs and alcohol. So that's another thing that I'm not really interested. That's another reason why I'm not interested in it. As a child, I witnessed, I don't know, hundreds of people's life testimonials about their lives, the lives they had and the lives they established in alcoholism and in drug use. And I never wanted to be anything like that. I never wanted to be the sad song. Okay. So Tia N, I'm not going to beat your last name up, but Tia NZ, she said, Kev, if my ex who I haven't, oh, wow. Okay. So I'm going to hit this one and I'm going to hit that one. So Tia, She said, if my ex, who I haven't spoken to in 5 years, he has a family now in parentheses, and I asked him, why is he contacting me? He says, because it's the love only I know. What does that mean? What does he really want? I think Tia in Zacchaeus, I think your ex wants to create a situation in which you have an ambiguous relationship and you ultimately start having an affair. Most of the time, when guys who are unavailable start to pursue you emotionally, even if they're not being overtly sexual, but they're trying to attach themselves emotionally, they're trying to pull you in emotionally, it's because they want an ambiguous situation. They want you to start to be a bit confused about what you think. They want you to get so vulnerable that you can get into a messy situation and start laying down with them. They're looking for some mess. They're looking to either destroy their relationship or have something on the side that means something. Some guys don't just like cheating, they like cheating with women they love, cheating with women they care about. So it's different for some guys. Every guy's not just looking for sex and that's it. He wants sex on the side with some love. He wants sex that means something on the side. Like he wants the full experience of love and he wants to have that multiple times. He should be a polygamist, but instead he's just going to cheat on his wife with somebody he loves as well. Um, if you don't want to end up as the other woman, then you need to stop responding to your ex. But if you're okay with being the other woman, first of all, shame on you, and second of all, continue as you are responding, and you'll be the other woman soon enough. But yeah, don't respond to him because all you're doing is setting yourself up for a love triangle, and it just doesn't end well for people like that. Unless you're going to be in a plural relationship, you want to get with his wife and see if y'all can be a team or something like that, then that's cool. But otherwise, it's just not going to work out. Wait a minute. I got some stuff going on. Okay. Furious Iris said, um, we're new. He texted another girl in front of me. Okay, so yeah, you talked to me earlier about the guy who texted a girl at 5 a.m.
I can help you search the web for who are unavailable. Start to pursue you emotionally, even if they're not being overtly sexual, but they're trying to attach themselves emotionally. They're trying to pull you in emotionally. It's because they want an ambiguous situation. I want you to start to
y'all hear
confused about what you think that you can get to messy situation, looking for some nasty, looking to me to destroy the relationship.
My iWatch has been listening to me for the whole time.
Some guys don't. Just like
y'all
cheating,
for real?
they like cheating women they love.
Man, what the hell? Man, what the hell? Man, y'all hear Siri just repeat everything I just said? Like I just asked her that? Like I just asked her to Google the whole last 5 minutes or whatever I just said? I'm so sorry. So Furious Iris, that was weird. My iWatch is tripping right now. She said, we're new. He texted another girl in front of me at 5 a.m. He says that she's just a friend and nothing more. How do I address this without getting defenses up? Okay, so if he didn't hide the fact that he was texting her and he says she's just a friend and nothing more, there are two things. Either he's telling the absolute truth, and that's why he texts her in front of you so that you can see that he clearly talks to her at all hours of the night, and you could have some understanding about his relationship with her. So that could have been him trying to be transparent in an effort to make you feel more at ease, or in an effort to kind of break down your walls about what you might think is okay. If you're familiar with that, he has a weird friend that he texts, but he does it in front of you. Maybe you don't feel as insecure as if you find the text messages in his phone later when he's not looking. So he could have been trying to get you kind of warmed up into the idea that he has this female friend, and that's why he did it in front of you, because he wanted to be transparent and he doesn't want you to think that he has anything to hide. That could be it. That could also be him hiding in plain sight. Some people do that when they do something absolutely wrong, but they do it right in front of you because they want you to think that they're not doing nothing, but it's exactly what you think. But why would they do that right in front of you? You feel what I'm saying? So it can be meant to confuse you. So those are the two reasons why he would do it. First, to show you that there's legitimately nothing going on between them, and he just texted her at 5 in the morning because that's what happens, and they're cool like that. Or he could be trying to trick you into thinking because he did it in front of you that there's nothing to worry about, and he's doing a lot more. Those are two very polar opposite reasons, but those are your two options. And so you said, how do I address this without getting defenses up? I think that you, if you're willing and y'all are exclusive, you can either meet the young lady or ask to meet her. show interest in his relationship with her by showing interest in meeting her and trying to get their vibes in front of. Like, you can tell if your man and some girl got something going on and you around both of them at the same time. Like, you can kind of tell that, I would imagine. So you can show interest in the friendship by just being more inquisitive about her. Say, well, then what was wrong with her? It was 5 a.m. Is she okay? I've seen people pretend to be as concerned for that friend that calls at 5 a.m. as the person who was being called or text, and it involves you in the story, and that way you can make the determination. Now, if you ask, "Oh my God, is she okay? It's 5 a.m. Is everything all right?" and he shuts you out and he doesn't respond to you, or he's not sharing information, or he's like, "Oh, it ain't nothing, don't worry about it," but he's constantly texting her at 5 a.m. but he's not letting you know the content or the context of these communications, then you have a problem on your hands. So if he's secretive about the contents of their conversation, then you have a problem. But if he's open about the contents of their conversation, then you're okay. So there's a lot there. I just probably confused the hell out of you because I told you two opposite things that seem to be contradictory, but those are your options and those are the only possibilities. Or those are the most common possibilities. There are a plethora of possibilities, but if you need to, write me on Instagram, put a bunch of money emojis or something like that, so I know I spoke to you before, and we can kind of go through this a little bit more. But yeah, it could be nothing, or it could be something very overt that he's sticking in your face just to make sure you're confused about what it really is. But yeah, if you wanna address it, just pretend to be more concerned than jealous about it, and see how much he shares. Even no matter how you address it, you're addressing it at all will make him understand that you're either bothered by it or you need it to stop. And you can just say, "Hey, well, can she text you if it's not an emergency at normal hours? Because it just seems a bit weird." He'll probably just say, "Hey, man, old girl was tripping. She just don't want me texting you at 5 a.m. Can you just stop?" However he frames it, as long as it stops, then you're okay. But if you're bearing witness to it, I'd like to actually be a witness to it. I don't want him hiding his text message schedule with old girl. I'd like to see what the hell's going on if I was you. But what the hell? Who do I know? I hope that helped. Like I said, Instagram, DM me on Instagram if that wasn't enough. Vivian, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. I always talk to you, Vivian. She said, "Things men test women with." Oh yeah, you wanted me to do that video. Things men test women with. I mean, I'm gonna text that to myself right now. Things men test women for. Okay. All right, Vivian. I'm gonna go on and try to do that video. I'm gonna start writing down my thoughts and just see where my mind takes me about that. So thank you for that suggestion. I think you made that. I was supposed to do that a minute ago, but I got a little bit distracted. I just finished my ebook, y'all, and my videos have been coming out a little slow because the ebook has been a very daunting task. It ain't daunting. It's been okay. It's been pleasant, but it's been a lot. It's been more work than I assumed it would be. So now I finished my ebook, I'll be able to pick my video release schedule up and start my podcast, which I've been putting off for a minute. So I'm really excited about that. Broken J 21. Oh, you always show love. You be in my super chats and you be in my lives quite often. What's up with you, Broken J? Say, "Hey, Kev, no questions this time. Just want to show some love." See, I told you, I ain't even look at the question yet. She said, "And I appreciate Siri making us laugh. That was really funny." Yeah, this never happened to me before. She literally was about to just say everything I said for probably the last 5 or 10 minutes. I don't even know if she thought like I was asking her to Google all of that or what, but I thought it was a computer at first. That's why I was looking like, what the hell going on? My phone, I forget my phone on too. So yeah, thank you for Broken Jay. Thank you for showing the love. Thank you for the super chat. Like I said, it's absolutely appreciated. And thank you for all y'all who join Patreon, whether y'all stay for a couple of months and pledge or donate for a couple of months, or where you just do it for 1 month. I appreciate every one of y'all who's been a Patreon supporter. Like I said, it really helps my family and it helps me more. It helps me move forward, toward my dream of obviously doing this full time and exploring the possibilities with this and the ways I can help people with whatever gifts I have. Mimi952 said, "Hi, thank you for the super chat, by the way." She said, "How do you deal with insecurities in a long distance relationship, especially when your man is a career oriented guy?" oriented guy. Excuse me. So if you in a long distance relationship and your man is one of those busybodies, you just, first of all, I don't know what your insecurities are. I'm assuming the insecurities are because of the distance, maybe that he might see someone who jogs his interest a bit more than they should. Fidelity is always a concern. Um, you just have to get with a man that you know and trust. And if you can trust your man and you hear from him a lot, it's okay. When your man's not talking to you enough and he's not communicating enough, then you're not in his mind enough, and that could be problematic. And it's not just your insecurities; he's nurturing your insecurities by being distant. So I think the first thing that you need to do to mitigate your insecurities getting any bigger than they are is make sure that you're on a very tight communication schedule where you expect to hear from him at certain times a day, or at least multiple, or at least not certain times a day, but you can expect to hear from him every day by him contacting you. If you can't expect to hear from your man, then you're always going to be insecure. And so it doesn't become a problem of his career orientation. It becomes a problem of his distance, his emotional distance. And you need emotional intimacy and emotional closeness to keep a long distance relationship together. So if he's career oriented and he's too busy to give you what you need emotionally, then y'all don't have a strong relationship anyway, or it's not built on anything. It's you hoping that it works, not him working for it to work. So it's not about his career; it's about the level of intimacy that he offers you as your man. I hope that helps. Diana Rowe, you always around. I appreciate you, Diana Rowe. You always show love. She say, "Do you stay married for the children?" Who, me? Oh, marry you. Now, it depends. That depends very heavily on the type of father that you're dating, Diana Rowe. And I think this might be my last question. I got to get off here pretty soon. I got some stuff I got to do with my wife. We got to watch some TV and investigate some stuff and do some homework. But Diana Rowe, she said, "Do you stay married for the children?" That depends very heavily on, first of all, the type of father that you're dealing with. How he would be affected by marriage, how you would be by divorce, how you would be affected by divorce, how the kids would be affected by divorce. I do believe that the kids should be the first priority, and their well-being should be the first priority. If you have a toxic relationship and you provide a toxic environment as a couple, then yeah, it might be a good idea for y'all to separate. But if the environment's not toxic and it's just unpleasant for you, I'm not always in favor of breaking up until the kids are at least old enough to have developed into who they are. So I don't know if my opinions of marriage are too rigid, but like I personally, as a dad who cares about my kids, and I don't know what the man you dealing with, but like me, I tell my wife, and she might laugh at this. She might. I said, listen, if anything happened to us, we roommates. We gonna be damn roommates because ain't no other man raising my boys. I'm raising my boys. That's the bottom line. And I want to make sure that I'm here as a present father. I'm not a man that's I don't want to be across town if somebody breaking my kid's house. I don't want to be across town when they feel when they feel unsafe. I don't want to be across town when they sad or when they're hurt, or when they're anxious. I want to be right there. So for them to be so young, if you was in a tumultuous relationship, but you can keep that toxicity away from your children, then you need to let your children develop the confidence that occurs with children when they have a stable two-parent home, unless the toxicity is affecting them. And then if you have a guy that you can trust to be a father, allow him to be a father. Sometimes women wrap a man up in a child support system before they realize whether or not he's going to be committed to his children financially and otherwise. I don't think that the court should always be involved in the relationship between a good father and his children. So I have a lot of opinions on when it's okay, when it's not to get okay. I guess to sum it up, to me, in a relationship where the children are young, if the relationship is toxic, you don't want your kids growing up in a toxic environment. Yeah, make the separation, but try to work out how to take care of the kids and how to co-parent without the help of court, because court won't do anything but further complicate the relationship and build frustration especially when you start divvying up the finances and turn your kids into a check that he has to pay every week or every month. Try to do your best to stay out of out of that type of space. Now, if your kids are old enough to be okay, like they're 10, they're 11, like that's really not a good age either, because at 13, a man loses his father in the home at 13, and another man comes in the house. Like, I guess it just depends on if you plan on dating again, right? So, because you can separate from the dad and y'all can still have a stable relationship among both parents, but if you bring another man in there to raise them kids, now they got an awkward. It's just a lot. I can't even tell you what because I don't know enough. Your question is very short. If you need to, if you want to contact me and give me a bit more information so I can give you a more concise answer, because there's just so much to consider when you're talking about staying married or separating with children. Write me at, you can write me on Instagram, put a whole bunch of emojis in your first line so I can recognize it and just remind me of your question. Or you can write me at KFIC Talks Guys with Girls at gmail.com and do the emoji thing in the subject line just so it stands out to me. But I'd like to answer your question more concisely, but that's a huge idea, and it's way too vast for me to say yay or nay. But yay if the relationship's not toxic and you're just bored. Nay if the relationship is toxic and it affects the children negatively. So I hope that helps. Anyway, listen, I got to get off of here. It's been 1 hour, 59 minutes, 45 seconds. I hope for some of y'all the signal cleared up. A lot of y'all said it was okay. Some of y'all said it wasn't. Even my wife said it was choppy for a minute. So I'm not sure what the hell going on. So I'm going to try to fix the internet situation. But, man, it was wonderful talking to all y'all. I'm so glad y'all joined me. I always be like, yeah, there's a video coming out. Now, it's definitely a video coming out tomorrow. It most likely will be titled the top five insecurities, top five male insecurities. I think that's what I'll title it, the top five male insecurities or something along that nature. And we'll just go through a few things that men are insecure about with or without a woman. And I think that would be helpful to some of y'all who have a skewed perception of what masculinity means for a man and his aggressive or assertive nature. So anyway, that's all I got for now. Damn, I'm not closing out a YouTube video. I guess good night. Good night. I'm going to be all right. Y'all be cool, man. Y'all have a wonderful night. Let me scroll to the bottom because I think before I do that, I'm going to scroll to the bottom, make sure everything's tight. Normally I'm not a troll. I clicked on a link because I can't a troll. So, oh, wow, this is funny, and then we'll get off of here. Somebody said, normally I am a troll here, and I clicked on your link because I came to troll, but I like what you got to say. That's very interesting. So it's fun or not. That's very interesting. Thank you for that. That's a very interesting comment. Somebody said, I want my question answered. I'm 25. I'm still a virgin. I wanted to find out if I can attract guys. I actually been kind of interested. You can attract guys if you're a virgin. You just can't jump that information on them on the first date. Man, I got to get up out of here. Yeah, somebody said, thanks, Kev and Pretty Lady. I call her Pretty Girl. Y'all can call her Pretty Lady. I'm sure she'll take that. She'll answer to that. Man, y'all have a wonderful night. If your question was missed, you can send it to me on Instagram. And keep it as short as it was in here because I don't answer super long questions on Instagram. And if you have a super long question on Instagram and you were not able to get an answer, you might want to go through my website. It's not free, but it's not expensive either. And that way you can get your question answered if you really need the help. Anyway, again, follow me at KFIC24 at Instagram.com. Follow me at KFIC24 on Instagram. Good night, everybody. I appreciate you for joining me. I'll get with y'all later.